Hi friends, in this video, we will be talking about dashboards. In the previous video, we talked about filters, dimension filters, measure filters, and date filters. So the agenda for this module is to understand how to build a dashboard and how to build a story. And of course, we will try to understand about context filters as well. So let's talk about building a dashboard. Dashboard is basically a collection of different graphs that we create. We've seen that in Tableau, we can create only one chart per sheet. Okay, let's say you've created a pie chart in one graph or in one sheet. You can't put a line chart or a text table right next to it. You will have to do it in a new sheet. So when we create different graphs in different sheets, how do we put them together? That is where dashboard comes into play. Dashboard is a combination or a collection of worksheets where the worksheets will interact with each other. So if each worksheet is considered to be a building block, then dashboard is a place where we are going to put them together, assemble them together, and create a meaningful structure. Okay, so how do we create a dashboard? From where do we see the option for creating a dashboard? You can go to the menu bar, okay, dashboard menu, and from there you can click on the new dashboard icon. Or at the bottom of the workbook, next to the new worksheet icon, okay, there is the icon for creating a new dashboard. This one is the icon for creating a new dashboard. Either way, it is fine. Tableau will open up the interface for creating a dashboard. Then, this is what the left side pane, the dashboard pane looks like on the left side of the canvas, the dashboard pane. It will show you a list of all the worksheets present in the workbook. And it will help us get a preview of the data on different devices. Using device preview, we can do that. We can adjust the size of the dashboard using the size option. We can see the list of sheets in the workbook. Apart from just adding the worksheets, we can add other things called as objects. All right. So let's go ahead and create a dashboard. For that, we need a few worksheets. So I'll first create some worksheets. Let's say I would like to look at the profit of Superstore by state. So how do we do this? A quick recap, a summary of whatever we have learned in all the previous videos. Okay, I will take country to detail and I will take state also to detail once this is done. You can see we have data for a lot of states. Let me put country on the filters shelf and I will focus only on United States. I don't want data for Canada. Okay, so this is United States data. Now, I'd like to look at the profit. So I'll take profit into the color shelf. Job done. Let's say I want to adjust the colors. How do we change the colors? We double click on the color legend and then we can choose from the palette. I'm using red and green diverging. Profitable states in green, loss-making states are coming up in shades of red. Now I need a chart showing the top 5 customers by profit. Meaning what? I need top 5 profitable customers. So here are the list of customers and here's the profit. I will also sort the data in descending order and we don't need all of them, right? We need top 5 customers. So how to do it? Pause the video here and try it out from your side, okay? I continue. So we'll have to take the dimension customer name into the filters shelf, then go to the top tab and ask for top 5 members based on their profit, sum of profit. Once I apply this condition, you see these are the top 5 profitable members. Now, I will simply right click on this sheet name and duplicate it. And here I want bottom 5 customers based on their profit. Because it's the same chart, instead of top 5, I'm saying I'm interested in the bottom 5. So I'll have to edit the filter and change this condition here. From top, I'm going to change it to bottom. Okay. If any of you is trying to do it along with me, please do pause the video and prepare all the three graphs. One is profit by state, one is top 5 profitable customers, the other is bottom 5 who are giving us a loss. So what we can do here is, let us say we want to change the orientation of the bars. We want them to start here and move like this. We can right click on the axis, edit the axis, and reverse the scale. Reverse the scale. From 0, this is negative now. All right. This is not mandatory. I'm just doing it to show you. Now, how do we create a dashboard? We need to click on the icon for creating a new dashboard. This here. Or you could go to the menu bar and do it. I'm going to click on the icon. Here's the interface for creating a dashboard. I can see the list of all the sheets present in the dashboard pane. And to start building a dashboard, we just have to drag them and drop them here. I'll drag the profit by state map first. It's simple drag and drop, okay? And I'll put the top 5 customers below the map. I'm going to take the bottom 5 customers next to the top 5. Look at the gray area as I hover the mouse pointer. So where exactly do you want to put it? You need to accordingly go and place it there. Okay. Now you can notice that we have very little data, right? Just 5 members, top 5 and 5 bottom 5. So much space is not required for them. So I will click in the map, go to the border, increase the space given to the map. This looks good. Then at individual graph level, we can adjust the size. There are 5 members and we see there is some unused space left out. So I'll go to the fit option and make it entire view. Similarly for bottom 5, I clicked in the graph to select it. Now I will go to the fit option standard and make it entire view. All right, they have just spread out and utilized the space. If you look at the overall size of the dashboard, little unused space is left out. So to adjust the overall size of the entire dashboard, the best option would be to go with automatic. Under size, click on the drop-down icon. You'll get a small menu. Again, click on the drop-down and choose automatic. Perfect. Now so we have a dashboard where we have put multiple worksheets together. Now my requirement is this. When user selects any state on the map, the remaining graphs should get updated, showing the data for that state. Okay, right now this is a map and these are the overall top 5 customers. And these are the overall bottom 5 customers. Okay, but what I want is, when I select a state, data for that state, top 5 from that state should appear and bottom 5 from that state should appear. I hope you all understood the requirement. How to do it? How do we make this chart itself a filter? How do I make each and every mark or data point here a filter condition? By putting an action. It is called filter action. How do we put a filter action on a graph? Is you select the graph, you will be able to see that gray border kind of thing, right, around the graph. And you can see some controls over here. From here, if I click on this funnel icon, if I turn on the funnel icon by clicking on it, this graph will start acting like a filter. The action will get applied. Okay, let me demonstrate and show it to you. All I need to do is click on the funnel and this chart is now a filter. The graph itself, meaning every data point here, is a filter condition. All right. So who are the top 5? Tamara Chen, Raymond, Sanjeet Chen, Hunter Lopez, and Adrian Barton. Now I'll go ahead and select California. Look at what has happened. What is it doing right now? Let's try to understand what's happening right now. Tableau is filtering the data and focusing on California, right? So out of the top 5 customers, whoever belongs to California, whoever has done any transaction in California, that is what we are seeing. Out of the top 5, Sanjeet Chand and Raymond have performed transactions in the state. and you can see the value, profit coming from each person in that state. Okay, out of the total bottom 5 customers that we had, these 3 people have made some transactions in California. But in California, they are giving us a profit. Look at Henry Goldman. Look at Cindy Stewart. Look at Luke Foster. They're giving us profits. All right. Suppose I go and select Texas. So what's going to happen? Out of the top 5, these 3 people have performed transactions in Texas, and even the most profitable customer, Tamara Chand, is giving a loss there. He's contributing to a loss. No wonder Texas is into losses, isn't it? And we can notice that out of the bottom 5, the overall bottom 5 that we had, 2 people have done transactions in Texas, and this is the loss that they're contributing to. I hope you're all able to understand what's going on now. Now, when I don't select any particular state, when I click in the blank space, the selection is cleared. Let's try Utah. None of the bottom 5 customers are from that state. One of the top 5 is from there, Sanjeet Chand. Okay, let me try Montana. None of the top 5 and none of the bottom 5 customers have performed any transactions in Montana. They haven't performed any transactions at all. So nobody from the top 5 list and nobody from the bottom 5 list are from that state. Okay, hope you all understood what is going on right now. This is filter action. This is filter action. And the filter action that I applied on this graph by clicking on this funnel is impacting these 2 other graphs in the dashboard. So an entry will be made in the corresponding sheets. You see, action on the country field. Country, region, state, province map. Action was applied, a filter action. So if you apply the filter action, an entry will be made here. But that was not our requirement, right? What did I say was my requirement? It's this. When the user selects any state, we must show the top 5 members from that state. What is happening right now? It has fetched the top 5. It already fetched the top 5 and it's checking whether these people have any record in California. If they have, it's displaying them. If they don't, it's eliminating them. I need to change this sequence. I need to tell Tableau to focus on the state that is selected first. Give priority to the state filter, the state that is selected in the map. Means give priority to that action. And when user selects a state, for example, California, then Tableau is supposed to fetch the data for that state and store it in a temporary table. Imagine it like that, okay? It is going to apply this action first, bring the data for that state and store it in a temporary internal cache memory, let's say. Then the top 5 customer filter should work with this data. Top 5 customer filter should work with the data that has been fetched and set to context. So obviously, because it's working with only the data from California now, it will fetch the top 5 from that state, isn't it? Now, let's say user selects Ohio. User selects Ohio. Then Tableau has to fetch all the transactions from the state of Ohio and store it in a temporary storage. The top 5 filter should work with this data. And if it's going to get applied on this data fetched for a particular state, it will give us the top 5 members from that state. How do we do this? I hope the requirement is clear, but how do we achieve it? How do we make sure that Tableau gives more importance? It gives precedence to the action filter. How do we make sure it applies the action first? And then on the data that has been fetched for that state, it applies the remaining filters. That is where context filter comes into picture. Okay, so I'll go to this sheet and I will set this filter to context. This is what I need to give more importance to this filter, right? So how do you give importance? Simply go to that pill in the filters shelf and add it to context. Context filters will appear in a gray colored pill and they are applied before any other filters in the sheet. They are the first filters to be applied in the sheet. First context filter will be applied, and on the data that has been fetched by the context filter, remaining filters will work. So I'm doing it only on the top 5 sheet. I'm not doing it in the bottom 5 sheet. Let's see. Now if I choose California, you notice how Tableau has refreshed the top 5 list. Why? Because now it is fetching the top 5 members from that state. What about bottom 5? This has not been set to context. So it fetched the overall bottom 5. Out of those 5 members, 3 of them belong here. Okay, let me clear the selection. And now I will apply the action filter to context even on the bottom 5 list. Okay, this is context, which means this will take more precedence now. So if I select a state, look at the refresh list. Top 5 from California. Bottom 5 from California. Let's select Illinois. Top 5 from Illinois. Bottom 5 from Illinois. Let's select Ohio. Top 5 and bottom 5 from that state. Montana. Top 5 and bottom 5 from that state. Okay. So upon clearing the selection, meaning when we don't choose any particular state, we're looking at the entire data. This is the overall top 5 and bottom 5 list. All right, so I hope you all understood context filters. I didn't do it in the previous video. I said I'll cover it here, right? So I hope it's clear. So when you set a filter to context, it will be applied before any other filter. That's it. You're just giving it more priority. Okay. So we understood how to build a dashboard and we also understood about context filters. Let's now quickly understand about how to create a story. Story is called as guided analytics or a narrated walkthrough. It is basically where we arrange all the worksheets as well as the dashboards that we have created in a particular sequence to convey our story, to convey the information. Okay. For instance, imagine that you are managing a team and you have to give a presentation to a client. So you asked your team members to prepare some slides for that presentation. All of them have taken one topic each and they've prepared the slides and they send it to you. Now you will not present the slides in the same random sequence in which you have received them, right? You're going to first arrange all of those slides in a proper logical sequence. And then only you would present it to the client. So maybe the welcome slide first, the agenda, topic 1, topic 2, and then the thank you slide. So you will arrange it in a logical sequence. That is exactly what we do in a story. We're going to arrange the worksheets and dashboards in a proper logical sequence. So let's see how to create a story by clicking on the new story icon, which is there next to new dashboard. We can adjust the size of the story by going to the bottom left corner and making it automatic. The story will resize to fit any screen on which it is displayed. We can see list of all the worksheets and dashboards. So just drag and drop. Okay, first point is here and every point has a caption box. So we can just go to the caption box and we can write some information. Let's say profit map showing the profit for all the states in the US. Of course, we have data only for 49 states here. We don't have data for Alaska, but let's say all states, no problem. Now I need to bring the second point. So if I drag it here, it is going to replace the existing point. I don't want to replace the existing point. I need to add it as another point. So what to do? We have to drag it here towards the caption box. If I leave it here, it will become the first point in the story. And if I leave it here, it becomes the second point. I'll leave it here. So this is top 5 customers. For every point in the story, you can narrate your story. You can explain the information in that story by writing the information in the caption box. Now I'll bring in bottom 5. I want to place it here towards the end. Bottom 5 customers. And finally, the dashboard itself. I'll bring it and place it here. So this is my dashboard. Getting it? So story is a place where we arrange all the worksheets and the dashboard in a particular sequence. Now, let's talk about updating a point. Okay, I'm going to put one interactive filter on region. Let me show the filter on region. Okay, we have data for central, east, south, and west. Okay, I'm showing a filter on region. Let me go back to the story and you can see how it automatically appeared. I have an interactive filter on region. I would like to focus only on, let's say, west. So I will deselect everything else. So here my map is showing me the profits from west region. I would like to save this as a new point. Let's say my client will not have the time to focus more on each and every individual region. I need to create ready-made reports ready for analysis. So specific to west region, I need to save this as another point in the story. How do we do that? How do I save this as another point in the story? So I made modification to the map corresponding to this particular caption box, right? So on this caption box, you can see certain icons. This is to remove that point, delete it. This is to revert the changes. It just goes back to the original. Okay, I'll keep it focused on west. This is to update the point. So the existing point will be updated and it'll show me data only for west. I don't want that. I want to save it as a new point. So when I click here, it will get saved as a new point. Getting it? So we still have a map showing us the data for all the regions. And I am now focusing on west. That's another point. Let's say now I want to show the performance of central region. And I would like to point out that Texas is giving a really bad loss. How will I do it? First, I'll have to save it as another point. How do we save it as a new point? We go to the caption box, click on the save as new icon. Okay, now that will open another caption box for me and I will write about it. This is the profit from central region. Please note that Texas is into losses. So whatever is your analysis, whatever you find, you can present it to your client through a ready-made report like this. That is a story where we arrange the worksheets and dashboards in a sequence. And also we can create multiple points in the story by changing the state of the graph using interactive filters or parameters or actions, whatever it is that you might be doing. Okay, I hope you'll understood about story. And of course, context filters that we covered. So that's about how do we build a story. We discussed about how to build a dashboard and we discussed about how to build a story and we discussed about context filters. Okay, I hope the video was informative and thank you all so much for your support. Please do continue giving us your support and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.